This conference will now be recorded.
Hello everyone, very good morning to all. In last session, we discussed about the Redux and the purpose of the Redux, and we set up a store, right? So for the store, there are some necessary things we created. They are going to be reducers and actions. Once the reducer and actions are created, and we are passing them to create store. And now, what is the purpose of this overall Redux? If we can see, to maintain the state of the application. It is not a component. It is a maintain the state of the complete application. Whatever the data we saved in the store now, so whatever the data you have in the cakes reducer, the data should be passed to our React. Now, how can we pass? See, as of now, what we did in the last session, if we can observe, we did a Redux setup, right? Redux store is completed. That's all. Redux store is completed. This Redux store now needs to connect with our React application. This is we didn't implement. Let us see how can we complete the how can we connect the Redux store with the React application. Whatever the data you are able to see here, this is the store, the complete information, how many products it is storing into this store that we have to pass to app.js. Why app.js? Because it is the root component. Because it is the root component, for everything we are going to be pass here. Now you can check this. Here there is a component called provider. Provider. Provider is a component. This provider component is available in React Redux package. React Redux package. Now you can see the provider is also imported here. Can you see that is imported on the top of it? By using this provider, we can provide that Redux store data to entire components of our application. Can you see that's I'm wrapping everything into the provider. Why everything into the provider? I think you can understand. App is the root component for every component, right? So at the end of the day, finally, all the components should be wrapped into app.js only. If I pass the data here, it will be available for each and every of its component and child components also automatically. We don't want to do anything. So in the same manner, we implemented earlier. Do you remember React Context API? How the Context API was implemented? The same story. We also passed, there is something called in React app.js. We implemented on the day, there is a React.provider, provider and consumer. I think we have to create a context API actually. So this is a context dot provider, something like we created, where we can provide the data wherever you want to access. Yes, we have to write the provide context dot consumer. This is what we did on the context API. Here also it is look like the same. So you are implementing a provider is a predefined component is available in React Redux. What is this package stands for? React Redux is a package which is going to create a communication between our React application and Redux store. So the provider package will have a parameter. The parameter could be anything. To this, I'm passing a prop store is equal to, let me pass the store store. But this store should be imported. Where is this store? Store is in your store.js file. You can go and check this. Where is the store? Yeah, store is created here. This you already written the variable. Let me pass the store here. Import store store from Redux store. It is available in the following file. The variable I taken, whatever the store you have done here, you have exporting, right? So to this store we passed something called like this. Now you have to import here, and that's all. You are passing the Redux store to your all the components. This is the component on the top, and all are going to be the child components. Whatever the data you have in the parent component, that will be available to the child components automatically. Now your setup is complete, nothing to do, your setup is completely done, right? Now React Redux is set up with, I mean, Redux we did yesterday, Redux store creation and all done yesterday. Now what we did, we are passing the data to the store. Okay, now what I will do, whatever the data you have in that store, Redux store, we have to access it, right? Let me create one component. I'll have to try to see. I'm going to create one component. Component name could be anything. Let me take a component with a name called cakes container container.js, cakes container.js. Some file I'm creating like this, right? You can take it as a functional component or you can take it as a class component. Whatever you want, you can take it. Now, so here I'm writing h1 tag open, h1 tag close. I'm writing this is going to be number of cakes, right? Number of cakes. Where is this number of cakes, Sandy? Now you can see, actually here are the number of cakes. This is available in Redux store and this is our React component. So from this store and from this component, how can we access the data? Right? We have to access it. We have two ways. One is by using hooks. There is a concept called predefined hooks, use selector and use dispatch. By using that we can access. Otherwise we can write a method called connector. To this connect method we have to write two predefined methods. Not predefined methods, these are our own methods. You can write anything, but let us see what I'm going to do. I'm writing a function const map state to props. To this we have to pass state as a parameter. Remember guys, this state is nothing but Redux state, right? State, and this is going to be something, it should return an object. What it should return? It should return an object. Now I'm writing this into one variable, total cakes colon state dot, what is we have to write? We have to write state dot the number of cakes you have to write. This is going to be number of cakes. That's all I'm writing, guys. Check this carefully. State dot number of cakes. Okay, that's enough, I believe. What I will do, we have a component called connect. Why to connect? See, the connect is a higher order component. Try to see. There is a library called, there is a higher order component called connect from React Redux. It should be imported on the top of the page. Is it imported? Yeah, connect is imported here. To this connect, you have to pass the method map state to props method, and your component should be passed like this. Can you see how this is going to be happen? Because of writing this, we are mapping the state. We are mapping the state of the Redux to our component called cakes container. This is the mapping. So connect is a predefined component, and especially this is a higher order component. To this higher order component, we are passing a component, we are passing a method. What this method will do, this method has a parameter. This is always expects a parameter that is called Redux state. To this method, you are passing something called state, right? This method have a Redux. Now, connect map state to props. What connect method will do, it will connect with Redux store. Whatever the state we have in the Redux store, that state will be mapped to our cakes container. Then how can we access this? Definitely I written a method. Now can you see connect map state to props, map state to props. Can you see connect map state to props? In the sense, what is this exactly? Now what I am going to do, map state, whatever the state you have in the Redux, that state I'm passing to my component as a prop. That's why I written the method like this. This method name could be anything. This method name could be anything. Now this is going to be cakes container. Now this is going to be passed the data to as a props. Now in this, now you can access the method props dot. Now can we see props dot total cakes, total total cakes. If you can write it, now this you have to import into the front end. You can go there, cakes container, cakes container, cakes container is imported. Now let me go and check this. What is going to be happening to the front end? This is our component, and this is the component you return. You are accessing the Redux state. To this I written one method, guys. One thing, name of the method is your choice completely, because I'm doing the method name why like this, whatever the state we have in the Redux, that state we have to map to our component props. That's why I written the method name like this. If you don't want this method, you can take any method. But this method always expects a parameter called Redux state. And this is what exactly the thing is. Now you can go and check this. Now if we can refresh the browser localhost colon 3000, can we go and check this? Am I getting the data? Yes. Can you see number of cakes? This data is saved in any of your components? No, it is saved in Redux store. From the Redux store, you are able to access the data here. Perfect. Now, I want to make one button here in my component by cake. Let us go and add a one button called button button. Open button close. This is going to be by cake. By cake or add to cart, whatever it may be, something like you can write it by cake. Now, if you can click the button by cake, one item should be reduced. But where is this total number of items? These items are in the Redux store. And this is your showcasing in your component. On click the button here, how the data will go to Redux store, how it should be reduced. Let us see how this is going to be reduced and all we can see now. Now can we see guys here, the next thing we are going to check it, right? So on click the button, we have to do one thing. What is that function? We have to reduce that function, right? In the reducer function, you can see if the case is matched with by cake, that is going to be get reduced with the number of items minus one. Let us do the same. What I'm going to do here, you have to write one more function to access the function const map dispatch to props. This function has a parameter called dispatch, or any parameter you can pass it, no problem. Dispatch. This function also returns an object. Definitely, this object should be a function now. Now you can see. You can take any function name here, no problem. By cake, I'm taking the function name as itself by cake, no worries. This is the by cake. On click this, it has to call the function called dispatch of by cake. You have the function defined, right? By cake, that function you defined. Where you define this function? You define this function in the particular action, right? You have to import that also. Import. It is going to be by cake from /redux folder. Yeah, /redux. Inside the redux, we have something called cakes. Inside we have something called cake actions. From here, you have to import it. Why? Because by cake function, we have to file here. So if see, as per the diagram also, you can check the yesterday's diagram or previous video. From our component, we are clicking dispatch. On click the dispatch, that is going to actions. From there, it is going to reducer. It is reducing the item from the store. It is updating our component. Now you can see this is the function. Now what you need to do, on click equal to, you have to write props dot, oh sorry, this function also should be available to our component as a prop, right? Then if you want to make this function also available to your component as a prop, in the connect method, in the connect higher order component, comma, you can pass the second one also. Map dispatch to props also we can pass. Then automatically this method also will available into our component. Can you see? Now I am going to write props dot dispatch dispatch. Sorry, what is the method we have? By cake only, right? buicake by cake. Now you can go and check this. I'm refreshing the page. If you can refresh, there is an error. Does not contain default exporter. Okay, can you go there? And cake actions, you can check this. It is saying that does not contain default export. Cake actions, if you can go, yeah, export is there, right? Export by cake. Why this is not taking? Export default is need to write, not required actually. It's not required. Okay, let me check this. Is it not imported properly? Go to your app.js, sorry, cakes container. I think this is not exported properly. by cake. You can go to cake actions. This is also by cake. We written already export. This is enough, I believe. We don't need to go for it. What happened to this? UI CAK by cake. This is actually, I think I need to do like this. UI CAK by cake from cake actions. Okay, let me check this. What is going to be happen? Maybe I missed this. Let me check this. Ah, yeah. Is it working? Yes, right? It is working. Maybe what I did earlier, I think I exported directly, na? Maybe, oh, actually how to use the parentheses, guys, here. Sorry, the curly bracket. Can you see the statement before I written? This is I written. Actually, how to keep this into a curly bracket, because there is a function actually. If it is a class, we can write regularly. It is a function, right? So we have to write like this, guys. Right, definitely. Sorry for that. Right. You can go and check this now. Now on click the button, one item should be reduced. So if we can click here, if we can click this button, you can see by clicking this here, it will call the dispatch by cake function into the actions. From there, request will go to the reducer. Reducer will reduce an item based on the by cake action. It will update the Redux store. From the Redux store, the data will be passed to app.js. From here, the data will be passed to container that we are displaying into the things now. Now you can check this. I'm refreshing the page. Now I'm going to click the buy cake. Can you see the items are decrementing? The items are getting decremented. The same functionality, you can write increment decrement counter, but that is the state in the component, within the component. But this state is a global state. Simply says this is overall application. For entire application, we are maintaining one state, right? You know one thing, the same data you want to access in some other component. Let me show you. I'm going to create the same into some other component. Right now you created cakes content, right? Let us create one more component. What is that component I want to create here? This is cake hook container, cake hooks. You can take this by using hooks. How can we access the data? Cake hook.js. This is the file I'm creating. Here we can read the data from Redux in two ways. One is by using this following connect component. By using connect higher order component, we can access the data. What connect will do? Whatever the data we have in the Redux store, that data will be connected to our container as a prop. That's why we are passing a props parameter and we are accessing props.total cakes and props.by cake. And whatever the data we have there in the Redux, that data will be available to our variables. These are our component variables. And bycake is also our method. And this bycake method is defined into Redux store. This number of cakes is defined into Redux store. These are our variables. By using these variables, we are able to access the data. Fine. Now you can see cake hook. I'm taking RFCE again. Now you can go and check this. Here, how can we access the number of cakes? Can you see now? I'm going to take this number of cakes. H1 tag open, H1 tag close. Hook cake container. Hook cake container. This is my file. Let me go and check this. I'm taking one H3 tag open, H3 tag close. Here, I'm writing number of cakes. Let us write this number of cakes. Number of cakes, right? This is different story. Let us go to app.js. Let us make one HR tag here. In this HR, I'm writing cake hook. I'm writing something called cake hook, right? You can refresh the page, check this, and it is going to be cakes content. See, earlier for fetching data, we written two methods like this. These are the fixed guys here forever. You can write the same methods, but they are not predefined. But you can take any name. But whatever the method you define here, that method should be passed to connect component. What connect will do, whatever the state we have in the Redux, and whatever the methods you have in the Redux, that will be passed to our component as a props. So in this, we have a predefined hook. The predefined hook is going to be, you can see the hook is going to be use selector is a predefined hook from Redux state. Sorry, do one thing, import use selector, right, from Redux, React Redux. From this also we can access the data, guys. Can you see the hook? This is the predefined hook. use the selector. Now come to this. Now you can see this is the state dot. This is have a parameter, predefined parameter, guys. This is hold reduce state dot number of cakes, right? Number of cakes. This is what exactly you have. That is what you defined in the component, right? So you can go to the reducer. In the reducer, what you define. This is what exactly you define. Number of cakes, right? So now you can see how we are going to able to access. Now this is going to be the data or number of cakes or total cakes or whatever you want. Take this into one variable. Now you can see I'm going to take this variable. You can pass here. Now you can check these total cakes. I'm refreshing the page. Can you see the total cakes are 10 and here also 10. Can you see how much effort you put here to get this total number of cakes? First I define one function. That function I pass it to connect higher order component. That higher order component is passing data to your component as a prop. But here what happened? Nothing. Simply there is a predefined hook. This is available in React Redux package. From this package, use selector is a hook. To this we have to pass Redux state as a parameter. From this state I'm able to access the number of cakes. That's all. This task is completed. You want to call the method also, right? There is one more hook, guys, here. That is going to be use dispatch. That is a hook we are having. So let us go and take this to one variable. We have to make increment or decrement, right? So let's have one button open, button close. Now I am writing this also buy cake. This is your buying cake from your hook container. So this is going to be on click is equal to, right? What is this, guys? Here we have to call the function, right? How can we call the function? Now you can see I'm taking one more variable const dispatch. Dispatch is equal to use dispatch. That's all. This is a predefined function, right? So we have a function dispatch. You have to call dispatch dispatch by cake. That's all. You can call the function by cake, right? Import that by cake also. Your task is completed, guys. Your task is completed. Now you can see how much effort you put in the last one. For getting this dispatch, you return one function. For getting the state, you return two function. Both the function you pass it to connect higher order component. Whatever the data you have in the Redux, that is passed to our component as a prop. Now this time you can check this. There is no props and nothing is required. Now we have two predefined hooks. One is a huge selector hook. This is having a parameter called Redux state, and the state dot number of cakes means whatever the cakes you have in the Redux store that will be available into total variable, and dispatch is equal to use dispatch. Now you can go and check this. I'm going to refresh the page. So sorry, something went wrong. Maybe it is a function call, right? Maybe I think I have to call like this, maybe. Right, sorry. Right, check this carefully. If you can refresh the page, I'm having an error. Refresh. So is it done so? Taking time. What is this error? Module build failed. By cake, right? Sorry. Something is extra here. This is dispatch and by cake. This is what I need to write. Let me go and refresh the page. What happened to this? Oh, ho. Many re-renders. React limits number of. Okay. I think I don't want to call like this. Dispatch on click by cake. It is imported from cake actions. Let me check this. What happened here? Sorry, something wrong. Action must be plain objects instead of actual type was function. Oh, I think I have to pass like this, guys, here. Yeah, you have to pass like this. Because on click the function, we have to call it, right? Yeah, you should do like this, I believe. This may be the error. Yeah, perfect. So because this is not defined anywhere in our component, right? So this is a dispatch. On click this function should be called. What this function will do, this function will execute the dispatch by cake. There is a logic we have to write inside the function. So perfect. Now you can go and check this. If we can by cake here, now you can see, oh sorry, action must be plain objects function. Maybe I have to take this also. Runs this. Let me check this and let me go and refresh the page. Now you can increase by cake. Yeah. Now you can see both the updating. This is one component by using connect props, and this is other. Whatever it may be, both are accessing the same data now. See, that is Redux store. Redux store is a global, I told you, right? We are able to access the store within this component. We are able to access the store in the component also. Wherever you want, you can able to access it. That is called exactly the Redux state. Redux state. Redux is a global, right? In the same manner, you can also do one thing, guys, here. What you can do here, exactly. So we have cakes folder. We implemented cakes, and we have maybe you may have drinks folder. Can you try how to implement the drinks? No, let us do one thing. I'm going to Redux folder. Let me implement a folder quickly. The folder name is going to be drinks. Okay, DRINKS drinks folder. Now, one more item I want to store into my Redux store, that is going to be drinks. So in this, you can click on the button. Now I'm writing DRINK drink types. Same three files first we created, right? Drinks types.js. One more file I have to create here. What is the one more file? Drink 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 actions.js. Drink reducer. One more file I'm creating, that is going to be DRINK drink reducer reducer.js. Same files. Now in this, what you can do, cake hook completed. Okay, you can remove this, you can remove this. Now drink types, let us write const by drink, bui by drink by drink equal to by drink, by drink equal to by drink. But this should be export. Definitely you have to write export. Drink action, same, const by drink. This is going to be written action type. What is the action type you have? By drink. Right, this is completed. Your action is done, but action should be imported. Sorry, export. You have to write export because you have to import into our components, right? Right. Now the drinks reducer. First define the initial state. Const initial state is equal to number of drinks 20. Const drinks reducer have a parameter. This is going to have two parameters. One is the state equal to initial state I am taking like this, and other one is going to be action. We have to write switch cases here. Switch action dot type is matched with by cake, by drink, sorry, by drink. We have to return the state. The state object going to be number of drinks, state dot number of drinks minus 1. If you don't have any case matched, you have to write something called default. This default, we have to write return state. That's all. This is completed. So you have to write export default. What is the reducer you created? Drinks reducer. The same and nothing difference. Only the variables and naming convention only changed. Drink type, cake type. Drink action, cake action. Drink reducer, cake reducer. This is what you did here. That's all. Now you can go and check this. This should be passed to our store, right? This is very important thing. Go to your store. Where is our store component? This is our store? Yeah, this is our store. But to this create store method, we have to pass only one component. We cannot pass multiple reducers here. But what is the, how can we pass a drink reducer here? Definitely you can pass drink reducer. Let me do one thing. In my Redux folder, I want to create one JS file. JS file. It is going to be root reducer. reduce here root reducer.js. How can we combine multiple reducers? But in the create store method, we can pass only one component at a time. We cannot pass multiple. So create store is a method. It will accept only one reducer. And how can we pass comma separated reducers here? It is not possible. So we are creating one root reducer. There is going to be one component called combine. Combine reducers is a component. Once that is imported, we have to combine reducer. Let us take one variable const root reducer reducer. One variable is equal to, I am writing combine reducers. In this, we have to pass the reducers. What is the reducer you have? One is cake reducer, cakes reducer. And okay, sorry, this should be accept an object actually, guys. Here you have to take an object. In this, you can pass something called cakes, and you can write something called cakes reducer, comma. You have to pass like this multiple parameter drinks, colon. You have to write drink reducer, drink, drinks reducer. Is it imported? Drinks, reducer. It should be imported from drinks reducer, reducer, drinks reducer. Here, these are the keys. You can take any key here. I'm taking cakes as cakes, rings as rings only. These key names, your choice completely. But this reducer should be come from there, guys, right? So let us import it here. Sorry, what happened? Drink as rings, reducer. Oh, 1 minute. Let me check this. Is there any spell mistake? Session is not coming. That's why I'm looking for drink reducer. Okay, sorry, drink reducer, reducer. That is the name of the file. You have to import it, guys, here from here. Let us import drinks reducer from dot slash drinks folder slash drinks reducer. This is the file you have created. This is the file you have there. So the file name is drinks reducer. Sorry, file name is drink reducer, and the component you created is drinks reducer. This is done. Now export default DEFAULT root reducer. Now you can come to your store. See, if you have one component, we don't have any problem. One item in the store, we don't have any problem. Now the problem is here, when I am selling multiple items in my store, then you have to maintain root reducer. For every item, you have to pass into the root reducer here. Can you see? This is going to be the root reducer you have done. You have to come here. You have to pass to this as a root reducer, guys. You have to import the root reducer here. Root reducer should be imported from the following location. This is what you need to do. That's all. Your story is completed. But can we go and check this? You can see the data in the front end. Can you see? You are able to see the number of cakes. You are able to see the hook cake container. No, you are not able to see. Then what I need to do, sir, here? So in this point of time, remember, you are passing the data as state.cakes.number of cakes. You have to access the data like this. Now you can go to your components, cakes container, hook cake container, whatever it may be. And let me open this file also. You can see you have to write this as a state.cakes.number of cakes. This is the way you need to write, because in the root reducer you are defining the key name as cakes, no? So cakes dot root reducer, this is what you need to do here. Also in the cakes container also, state dot cakes dot number of cakes. This is the way you need to write it. Now you can go and check this. This will be, this time is displaying items, right? So in the same manner, you can go and create one component called rings reducer. Let us go there. I'm going to create one component where the component should be created in the src. This is going to be drinks container, container, container.js. Fine. RFC. You want to use reducer, the reducer in the sense hooks. So from here we have import use a selector. Hook is imported from React Redux. You can come down. You can take one variable const total rings equal to use selector. In this use select SELECT or use selector, to this use selector you have to pass state as a, this state is nothing but Redux state. This I'm taking this as state dot DRINKS drinks dot number of drinks. This is what you have to do it carefully. If you have multiple items, you have to do like this. If it is only one item, state dot number of cakes. Here we written. So now you can check this. This is going to be written H1 tag open, H1 tag close, number of drinks. You can write this as a total drinks. Total drinks. Now you can check this. This should be imported here, right? You can go and take one more HR. Drinks container is imported, right? Yeah, imported. You can go and refresh the page. If you can refresh, number of drinks 20 is coming. In the same manner, you have to implement this, right? What is this going to be? So you have to implement the function also. To this, we can write const dispatch dispatch equal to use dispatch. Use dispatch from Redux package, right? This is what exactly you have to take it. Oh, sorry, I already taken, right? Variable is not required two times. Oh, what happened? Charging is low. Guys, 1 minute. Let us finish this quickly. Dispatch is equal to use dispatch. Use dispatch. Use dispatch is sorry. patch. Use dispatch. You can write the button tag open, close. This is going to be by drink. On click is equal to dispatch by drink by drink. But where is this by drink? We have to check it. That should be imported from there, right? Import by drink from dot slash redux slash drinks folder, so slash drink actions. From here you have to import it. Now you can go and check this. What will be happen if I can click this dispatch? Spell mistake is there, patch, right? Can we go and check this now? I'm refreshing the page. If we can refresh the page, now you can see by drink they're decrementing, and if you can click by cake also they're decrementing. Like this we can maintain multiple states in the Redux store. Okay, right, right. Yeah, guys, so this is how we can maintain the number of drink like this. That is called store, and the store items will be maintained. But one thing remember, whatever the data it may be, the data we have in the store we are able to maintain here. Guys, understand this is what exactly the concept of Redux store. Once access store is done, that we can access wherever we want in our application component. Guys, check this carefully. So this is what exactly the concept of Redux store. I hope you got some clarity how exactly the Redux store is going to be maintained, and it is global. Simply says for our entire application we can maintain this Redux store. Okay, right. So this is all about the Redux store. Any doubt?